This afternoon, verification of certain information required for establishing probable cause after 23 years of grief has finally been conveyed to me by an encrypted comm from an anonymous source who is knowledgeable and is never wrong. The identity of the source is unknown to me for plausible deniability. Remember the words of the protagonist in the movie Law-Abiding Citizen. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. I now have a 99.9% confidence that what I alleged happened can be proven by spectrographic analysis and will lead down still more rabbit holes of abject corruption from the absolutely rancid court and prison system, especially in New York. The following is a verbatim copy of the synopsis of the complaint I filed online today because after hours of trying, 1-800-CALL-FBI is a robot voice circle jerk that has no option to talk to a human being. The names of the parties involved, although spelled out in the complaint, are replaced with initials here in order to not be accused of doxing. The SRA case is not related to the false arrest, only a means by which to have the site investigated. Arrest under color of law. Forged signature on confession, fountain pen autograph on a book copied with a flatbed scanner and pasted as a JPEG onto a typed statement in MS Word. Ink analysis will prove inkjet printer ink from a Hewlett-Packard HP 500 on the statement, which was then used to backdate a complaint supposedly signed 3 months prior to the arrest. The statement contained a fictitious location, the abandoned farmhouse, which appeared in the complaint. Proof that witness statement was also fictitious. Judge SPF, now retired of Indian Lake, is involved. Original prosecutor bugged out. Case went 14 months. Pled out. Couldn't beat the corruption. Violation and conspiracy to violate rights, Title 18 U.S. Code 241-242. Exculpatory medical report was also withheld, and probably why the original prosecutor bugged out. Child victim was never touched. Photo and pictures, videos never admitted but viewed in camera by Judge SPF. Possible satanic abuse site at GPS coordinates 421417 740026. Cut and paste into Google Earth. That I reported to police in the fall of '96 from payphone at Hartman's Cafe House on Heart's Content Road in Catskill, New York, was never looked into. For lack of a name, I call it abandoned farmhouse. There is no such structure. Detective CK of State Police, New York, made the arrest at KS Outfitters in Olmsted, New York, May 17, 1997. Criminal record secured under false arrest is a continuing injury I have had to live with that destroyed my life and resulted in numerous threats. It's time to set the record straight. Please call me for more information. Well, my friends, now you know just a little bit more about the non-existent abandoned farmhouse. It was a little bit of a fantasy that I cooked up and which ended up in someone's statement that was supposed to have been signed 3 months earlier. And that's how I knew exactly what happened. I met some grimy people in my life, but these people are grimy, they're corrupt, and they don't care who they hurt. And they'll pretend to be public servants, but they're no such thing. Now, I'm not gonna let 2 corrupt cops and an equally corrupt judge sway my opinion on the 99.99% of law enforcement out there who are stellar human beings and who I have befriended over the years and worked undercover for. But that exception to the rule was very costly for me. And I really don't care what people think, because I was standing in the gap. And when you stand in the gap, your life is in danger, literally, because you stumble upon one of their little schemes and you threaten to take it down, not knowing who you're dealing with, just like John F. Kennedy. He knew the deep state existed, but he didn't know how evil, how corrupt, how treacherous, and how outright fucking grimy they could be. And it cost him his life. I don't reveal my sources because it could cost them their life. I take this on me. I do this. It's my vendetta against 2 corrupt cops and a judge who is now retired, sitting up in his home thinking about, I got over. Well, if it's the last thing I do, I'm going to see that son of a bitch dragged out of his house and put under Leavenworth, because not only is he involved in this thing, he is involved in all of the stuff that Will Kanishi and I exposed a year ago in several videos where we talked to victims of child procurement services. This is a grimy worldwide operation, and if you tear at one tentacle of this thing, it'll all fall apart, because one will lead you to the other, and they will do anything and everything to keep you from exposing even a little bit of it. Look at all the people who died of mysterious causes around the oven mitt fashionista. That should tell you that some people are untouchable. And the reason that they're untouchable is because the people who are supposed to be enforcing the law and catching the criminals have to be. That's the only explanation. They have to be criminals themselves. And if they're grimy enough to cut and paste a copy of your autograph onto a statement and then go back and construct a complaint from bogus information that you told them verbally, what else are they capable of? What else are they capable of? And the judge had to know. The original prosecutor definitely knew, because he backed off big time. And in the time it took for him to back off for another one to appear was almost 14 months. And that one, the replacement, had plausible denial because she didn't see what the original thing was all about. They're grimy. They did to me what they did to General Flynn. And it cost me everything. But that's okay, because if it wasn't for that, I would have died on 9/11. I would have been on the 103rd floor of the World Trade Center, sitting there drinking coffee, talking with my friends at Fiduciary Trust, and admiring the view of the Statue of Liberty in New York Harbor. And then to have the building crash down on my head. And maybe even have to resort to jumping out a window as the molten steel from the thermite that was used to cut the beams flowing across the floor, and having to make an instant decision of whether I would like to be burned to death or be crushed to death in a 103-story fall. So I thank God every day for that. Don't like how you did it, but I'm still here. And when this is investigated and is proven to be correct, all the ones who are involved are going to be in big trouble. Title 18 U.S. Code 241 and 242. Violation of rights and under color of law, and conspiracy to violate rights under color of law can carry up to the death penalty. I wonder how many more victims that they constructed out of thin air, and how many more criminals they made out of nothing, and how many people went to prison because of them, and how much money these people made by feeding the prison system with innocent people. These people are so grimy that they will stop at nothing. Oh, if it wasn't for a forged signature, well, maybe we'll pay a visit to his house on garbage day, and we'll take the garbage, thank you very much, and we'll take it back to our office, and we'll see if we can find a Kleenex that our intended subject blew his nose in, and we'll get the DNA, and then we'll send it to a lab, and we'll say, yeah, well, this is we found this DNA on a crime scene. They're capable of that. They're capable of that. Trust me on this. They're capable of that, and much worse. The cabal murdered over 3,000 people on 9/11, and nobody talks about that anymore. They murdered a duly elected president on November 22nd, 1963, and all went well, and all were happy in the Matrix, living the American dream. And the American dream is only possible when you're asleep. And we had a great awakening with the 2016 election and the exposés that led to a landslide victory for Donald John Trump. God bless that man. And when this is all uncovered, you will see that the people who are pretending to protect you are doing nothing of the sort. If they can profit from your misery, they'll do it in a heartbeat. I'm not talking about the police. I'm talking about the politicians who own some of the police. That's how they get away with all the crimes they committed. And if we are ever going to get a handle on this so-called justice system, the first thing that we have to do is remove that gold fringe from the American flag that hangs in every courtroom. And if you don't know what that gold fringe means, I highly recommend that you look into it. I am not going to say another word. Remove the gold fringe from the American flag in the courtrooms, and do away with prosecutorial immunity for judges, police, and prosecutors. Do away with plea bargains altogether and replace it with this. Prove beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty, with physical, empirical evidence, that a person you bring to bar before a courtroom is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty. And if you can't prove it, that person gets compensated for his time. And if it can be established that you used some grimy shit to fabricate evidence against an innocent person or coached a witness, then you, Mr. Prosecutor, Mr. Judge, serve 3 times the maximum sentence that the defendant would have served had he been found guilty. That would put the kibosh on this shit real quick. Well, my friends, tomorrow I am going to go down to talk to the district attorney in my town, and hopefully he'll have the time so I can lay this all out for him to see what we can do here from a local level. Because to take this back to New York would be an exercise in futility, if not attempted suicide. To believe that you can win in a corrupt system is tantamount to insanity. And I, my friends, am nowhere near the funny farm. I have 140 IQ the last time I checked. And I might have not known the law, but I know what's right, I know the truth, and I can pick the fly shit out of the pepper. Hopefully, so can you. I will be moving into my new location sometime this week, so don't be alarmed if you don't see a video from me for a day or so. Or I'll just post something short just to let you know that I'm still alive. I know when some of you guys don't see a video from me in a day, you start calling and asking me if I'm okay, and I really, really appreciate that. I've made a lot of good friends on this venue. And as much as I'd like to just dump this and be done with it, I keep doing it because of you guys. I keep doing it because I know you appreciate what I do, and I appreciate what you guys do. It's a mutual affection of one American to another, of one patriot to another. Black, white, yellow, green, purple, orange, doesn't make any difference. If you're a patriot, you're my brother, I'll stand in the gap for you too. And there is no way in hell that I'm going to let these people get away with it. Not as long as I'm alive. It took 55 years to begin the unraveling of the cabal that John F. Kennedy knew about. And I'm beginning to suspect that the plan started back then. I hope I'm right. Because if I'm right, ladies and gentlemen, there's hope. If Donald Trump has been planning this way before we elected him president, then there is hope for this country after all. America is the planet's last hope to be free. If we lose this one, there is no hope anymore. There's no sense in being born or being alive in anything other than a free country. We've had the illusion of freedom for a long, long time. Our rights have been continuously violated with impunity, both at the state, city, federal levels. They don't care about your rights. All they care about is looking tough on crime when their election is coming up. That's why they put these trials off until the last minute, so they can claim that, oh, look, we put all these bad guys in jail. The ones that should be in jail are the ones putting people in jail. They have constructed a nightmare out of this country. And because of citizen journalists, we now see the light. We see through a glass darkly, as it says in the Bible. And now the sun has come out. and the grime has been partially wiped away from the window. And when we look out at that clear pane, we don't like what we see. We don't like what we've become. And especially, we can't figure out how these people who are supporting this demon rat Nazi party want this to continue and support it. Brainwashing at its finest. This is Dave from Net4Truth USA, Inglorious Patriots. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing this video. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your calls of encouragement. And most of all, thank you for your support. Please subscribe to our backup channels on YouTube, Inglorious Patriots, Net4Truth USA 2 Patriot Channel, and Ethernet Warriors. You can also catch us on BitChute.com/Net4Truth USA, remonetized.org/user/Inglorious-Patriots9, and drop.space/@Net4Truth USA. All the links are in the description. We fly so close to the target, we are on our 5th fighter jet. We will be relentless and persistent until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/Net4Truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.